I thought I'd have the dogs join my studio today. I don't know if you can hear them
It's
growling.
time for a chorus of dogs on Here All Week. You did say you'd be selecting the next guest.
Yes, the next guest is my three dogs. Thank you. No, I thought it would be fun to have them run around and while I do the show, and they're fighting over a piece of cardboard. Hello, everyone. Hello. My name is Kelly Wright.
And I'm James Ernest, and we're here all week. How are you, Kelly?
I'm good. I did nothing this weekend. This past weekend, nothing. I
I
can't
had
tell
a
you the
lot
last
of
time.
plans for this
Yeah.
weekend that fell through. I feel like, I hope it's not me, but people are telling me they're sick. Their father's in the hospital because he fell down and broke his hip.
Oh no.
A friend of mine canceled game night because he kicked his cat box and broke his toe. And
Oh.
I'm like,
Oh God.
okay, I'm sure that's probably true, but honestly, I Googled cat box broken toe and I got 100 photographs just like the one you sent me. So
James, I don't know what's going on. Oh, that laugh was long and hard, and that gave me a dizzy spell. Oh my goodness. No, I did nothing this weekend. What has happened, and what usually happens seasonally with me, right before the gorgeous fall season starts in Seattle, and it is a lovely fall season, there's usually a spate of rain. There's a spate of gray clouds and stuff, which kind of is the reminder that winter is coming. So the weather changed this week and it turned super gray and rainy on Friday and has just been heavy gray. The color of cement is what it is. And so that kind of, I have seasonal, I get seasonal affective disorder and I use a bright light as far as to help me, sleep and keep my
but surely that
positivity.
doesn't kick in after like 1 week of clouds.
No. It doesn't kick in after 1 week of clouds. But what I'm saying, as far as with the weather change, it kind of like flicked down my hibernation switch. And
And
I
so
was
you
like,
slept all weekend. Yeah,
I
well,
said, I'm not getting out of bed. So there you go. That's what I did.
that's probably fair. I have been, I don't know, doing very little. I've been watching old TV and, being disappointed by my failure to hook up with my friends. But
I'm
I'm
so
sure
sorry about your
I'm sure they'll all get
disappointed friends.
better. They'll bandage the wounds and heal their sick children and come up with
Toes
some
will
other excuse not to see me next week.
toes will heal. Fathers will get better. Yes, and then they'll be like, no, I have a cough. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't come over because I don't want to do that. Why don't people just say that?
Why not just say so? I don't know, Kelly. Well, it's time for our opening segment, Conversation Starters, sponsored this week by Eldritch Bacon. Tonight's conversation comes from a list of funny conversation starters. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I don't even know how funny this is. In 40 years, what will people be nostalgic for?
God, in 40 years? Let's see.
I
I'll
don't know.
be.
It's an
Oh,
arbitrary number. Let's
no,
not
it
talk
isn't.
about what we'll be nostalgic for because we'll miss breathing, I
I'll be
think, by
lucky to
then.
be alive 40 years
Right.
from now. Nostalgic for paper money.
Remember when people used to still use paper money?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
paper money because you could like take out that wad of bills and impress someone. Now it's just, a piece of plastic. And while the
Right.
American Express Black Card is impressive,
You
I
didn't
agree
have
with that.
to scan a QR card to give $1 to a homeless guy.
Exactly. They don't, the homeless people now have squares. Is what they
Right.
have, the square. Yeah.
Could you please Venmo me? That's what I have. Okay, dude.
So,
Well,
James.
I listed that we'll probably be nostalgic for the same things that we're nostalgic for right now, which is gathering in public, eating in restaurants, and living to old age.
Oh, okay. See, I just went real simple. Paper money. There you go. I didn't
Oh, I
dive
like
too
that.
deep into
That's a
it.
good answer.
The reason also why I say it is that since I've been doing the Great Purge in my home, I've been coming across some things that I have stored, and there was a fairly thick envelope that had all sorts of global currency in it. My grandfather, when he would
Oh,
travel and
fun.
stuff, he would
Yeah.
keep currency. So it was just fun to go through that and to see that they don't use this anymore, and this isn't used, and this is now defunct, and so it was just interesting to see that. So yes, paper money I think is something that we'll be nostalgic for. Not necessarily all the time. Anyway, I'm rambling. I just want to tell you that the new Guinness World Records has revealed their latest record breakers in the 2022 edition of the popular book. So the
Have
publication
they
came out last.
reintroduced any of the eating records? Those are my favorite.
No, I don't think so. I know the publication came out last Thursday, and there's a bunch of records and feats, including the fastest walking on hands and the most skips over a person's own hair in 30 seconds.
A person's
Interesting.
own hair.
Yeah. So Britain Bethany Lodge, a gymnast since she was young, she scored the title of fastest 100-meter forward rolls in 42.64 seconds, and the most backward somersault burpees by a female in 30 seconds, 5. I don't even know what a backward somersault burpee is. I know
Do
what a
you know
burpee
that's
is.
also the record for stacking M&Ms?
Really? I didn't know
5.
that. According to Bethany, she says, "It feels incredible to achieve a Guinness World Record title. It's something that I never even considered doing. I always used to get the books when I was little and used to read through them and just look at all the incredible things that people could do."
What is
She's
she,
kind of like the Queen.
Mary Poppins?
Well, she is from England. She's
That's
British.
true, but Mary Poppins is from the England of 100 years ago. Oh, children, let's see how quickly we can somersault 100 yards.
Let's see. An American by the name of Zion Clark. He was born without legs and took the record for fastest 20 meters walking on hands, achieving the feat in 4.78 seconds.
Well,
That's
yeah.
impressive. That's really impressive. And Letitia Key from the Ivory Coast, she set a record for most skips over a person's own hair in 30 seconds. That was 60. The 25-year-old model, actress, and artist is known for making sculptures with her locks. There you go.
Okay, like
Now
balloon
get out there and
animals, like
get out there and do
like
something.
towel animals. Well, I can only skip over my own hair if I cut it off first.
Well, I know that when I hear all these record breakers and I just slept the entire weekend, I just kind of gave my own self a pat on the back and an award. I'm like, you did good, Kel. You
The
did
record
good.
for sleeping all weekend once again goes to Kelly
What?
Wright.
Oh, thank you so much. I don't deserve this. Um,
Well, I
so
heard this
James,
week
you
that they're going to be re-recording the opening of Dredd. Do you know the Judge Dredd movie recently, 2012, where there's a
that's Sylvester
sort of a
Stallone, right?
no, that's a much older one. No, this one has, and I'm blanking on his name, but it's a much better movie than the Stallone one. Um,
Okay.
it's got a 2-minute monologue where the camera sweeps over the sort of desolate landscape of the future, and they're just
Yeah.
going to redub that with one word: Texas.
I just saw what was it? Someone tweeted or quoted or something saying, you know why the solo star on the Texas flag
That's
is
the
a
Yelp
review.
review. Yeah.
That's the Yelp review, and I thought that was pretty funny.
One
That's the
star would
review.
not Texas again. Well, sadly, I won't
Uh,
be going to Texas for my what used to be an annual meeting of game designers, elite game designers who could elite because they could afford this expensive retreat. Um,
mhm.
yeah, they've missed 2 years because of COVID, and of course that's emptied their budget out, and so they've decided they just simply can't do it at all again, and that's disappointing. Even
Oh,
though it would require a trip to Texas, I'm always willing to do that just to see my friends.
well, I've never been to Texas. I have friends who have family and have moved and traveled to Texas. I just kind of associate Texas with barbecue and meat sweats. I don't know if that's true.
They actually serve a lot of that at this retreat I'm talking about.
Oh, a lot of meat. So you do get the meat sweats if you do go.
A lot of barbecue and a lot of meat sweats.
I know, isn't there something in Austin? It's called the Salt Lick, I think is what it was. And I heard stories from the
Yes,
Salt Lick where it's just piles and piles of meat on your plate. And then you're supposed to go walk to a bridge somewhere and watch bats fly out. Like, sounds great.
bats. That is correct.
Sounds great. James, you're in Vegas. What's going on there?
I guess it got cooler. It's only in the high 90s this week. It's
Oh,
been
good.
slightly overcast, and I don't know. As I said, I haven't had any reason to go outside. I walked down to Fremont Street a couple of times this week so that I could check in on my own casino game. Ricochet Poker is at Binion's right now.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, I went there on Wednesday and the table was closed, and I went there on Saturday, and while it was open, there was nobody playing. So I don't know. First of all, I don't think they've done much except tweet about it once, and I don't know if anyone is likely to find this table and go play it. But there you go. That's what it feels like to break into the casino game industry.
Oh, Sounds exciting. Sounds like a lot of waiting.
Yeah, I don't. I suppose I'm waiting for them to give up on it because I don't think they're doing much to promote it.
So tell me, as far as how is what's going on with the COVID and the mask situation down there? What are they enforcing?
Man, I think the casino properties are enforcing masking indoors, although they seem to be doing it fairly poorly. And I went to a club last night to see a friend of mine's band, but it was so busy I just left again, and
Hmm.
nobody was masking, and they
Wow.
should know better. I mean, it was a steampunk event, so they could have just had masks as part of their costumes, but many of them didn't, and I was finally like, wait a minute. I used to hate this scene before COVID, so I came here and saw it, and now I'm going to go home and stare out the window.
Not a steampunker, huh? No.
Well, no, actually, I don't like bars. Like, I think, and I
Ah,
just saw an
yes,
interesting video about this, but like, uh, people seem to think that being sociable means going to a loud place and drinking a lot. And
yes, yeah,
honestly, if you're sociable of a particular style, which I think I am, you actually
yeah.
want to talk to people, and that's about the worst place to do it. So
Oh, oh,
if I'm
yes.
not working the venue or playing a game or doing something like legit, standing around with a drink in my hand is probably the biggest, dumbest thing I could do. So yeah, it's
Yes.
never been my scene, and just being afraid of catching COVID did not make it any better.
Oh, I absolutely. I know that as far as events I have gone to where I know that it's a if it's a dry event or it's just it's not at a bar or a restaurant or whatever that there have been people that I used to hang around with in my life that would pregame because they felt the need to do that. So they would
Right.
drink way too much at home and then just be completely obnoxious at the event. I'm like, okay, you've completely. Why are you doing this? Why?
Our
Just stop.
culture has a sort of universal embrace of alcoholism that probably
Yeah.
predates language. Like, I think they invented beer and then they said, oh, we have to settle down and cultivate this. And then all of society happened. Like, that's how old
Yeah.
alcohol culture is. And
Yeah.
so it's hard to get away from it. It's hard to understand it. It's hard to know when you're a part of it. I'm a part of it because I react to it, because I'm always having to explain to people why I don't drink,
Isn't
as
that
if I
weird?
should have to do that.
Isn't
Yeah.
that weird? I mean, it's
Well,
like
it
if
is
someone
weird, but it's
offered.
also like, you got to accept it because it's just the way it is.
No, I just find that weird. It's I would never if someone says if I offered some when I used to smoke and I offered someone a cigarette, they're like, I don't smoke. I'd be like, okay, but I wouldn't be like, why? What's wrong?
Why?
Do you
What's
have a
the matter?
problem with
Just
it?
try one. Maybe you just haven't found the
Just try it.
cigarette
Maybe you
that you
have.
like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's just weird.
Imagine
It's
that
so
about
weird.
any other vice, or for that matter, virtue. Like, what's the matter? You don't like potatoes? Maybe you haven't found the potato that you
Maybe you
like.
haven't found the right potato.
Me and my
What?
friends are going to go out later. We're going to have a whole bunch of spuds. We're going to eat so many potatoes, we're going to throw up. Like, how stupid is that? And yet everyone does it, right? And or they have to, make excuses for why they don't.
I love the potato analogy. I do. I love that. That's great. I think the next time, as far as if I'm out with someone, because I do drink. I do drink wine, and the one time I've had to postpone a show because I was helping a friend through a very big emotional crisis,
I
and
had
so we
eaten so many
I
potatoes that
we ate
morning.
so many potatoes. Holy crap! I couldn't drive. We ate so many potatoes. But
Sir,
no,
I
it
just
was.
got to ask you, you've got an open potato in the car, and
Sir, could you tell me, do you have any potatoes in the car on you right now?
there's
And
nothing in the trunk, officer.
sir, you smell like French fries. Could you step out of
Yeah,
the
I
car,
mean,
please?
oh, that was before.
No, I had some potatoes at dinner a couple hours
There
ago.
was a
I'm
guy
good.
from McDonald's in my
I
car, but
I need
he's
you to
gone
get
now.
out of the car, please. You smell like French fries. Is that an open bag of chips in the car? Is that potato chips?
Maybe
What's in your back seat?
I'm going to be
Oh,
doing
underage
5 years to 50 for an open bag of
underage
chips.
chip eating. No, no, no.
But I mean, sure. I mean, that's like there's laws against it because it's bad for you. But I that must be part of why it's integral to the culture too. I can't understand it.
It's
Somebody's going to have to
deeply
do a
woven in.
PhD on it, or I'm sure they already have.
I'm sure there
But
are,
yeah,
but yeah, it's woven into the fabric. I mean, seriously, there's people who will be like, why aren't they serving alcohol at this wedding? And it's like, cause it's their wedding and they
they
don't drink.
forgot.
So
Why
so
don't they have potatoes at this wedding?
why should they booze you?
I'm not really a big potato guy. I have one once or twice. I like an Idaho. I like anybody else. But I don't mean I could stop eating potatoes whenever I want. God's sake, man!
But
I didn't even
I
bring
just
it
don't
up.
want to. I just don't want
I
to.
They're so good. They're tasty and they're full of
They're
vegetables and stuff.
tasty. Sometimes I get up in the middle of the night and I have a potato. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, just because I
Nothing
eat
wrong.
potatoes by myself doesn't mean I'm a loser or anything.
What's wrong with that? Oh, it's funny, but it's sad. It's so true. It's so sad. I need to take a break. This episode of Here All Week is brought to you by White Privilege, the board game from Eldritch Bacon. It's all in the game.
Are you rich and white?
Do people think you have more privilege than you deserve?
Are you sick of America's intellectuals flapping their gums about injustice and corruption and trying to undo not just society but the very fabric of space and time?
Then bring home a copy of White Privilege, the board game from Eldritch Bacon.
Eldritch Bacon is the richest, whitest, and most influential human being on Earth.
His soothing words and cutting-edge rhetoric have helped rich white men all over the world feel better about themselves and what they have.
From Eldritch Bacon University to the 24-hour Eldritch Bacon news channel, you can't swing a cat without learning about the value and inevitability of privilege.
They also do steaks.
And now you can reinforce your self-serving patriarchal perspectives with the new family board game White Privilege from Eldritch Bacon Games.
How does it work?
Every player chooses a color and starts with an arbitrary stack of money and status.
The white player always starts with the most.
Then players spend 2 hours rolling dice, moving tokens, and reading complicated charts.
And yet, in the end, white always wins.
White Privilege, the board game, is literally the hottest product in the world and has already been translated into more than 100 languages.
I didn't even know there were 100 languages.
I guess there are.
What's more, this game was voted world's greatest board game by Patriarch Monthly for the last 6 years in a row.
So amazing! White Privilege, the board game, is becoming a critical part of the curriculum in every American school.
And your uncle can't stop playing it.
So if you're a rich white guy looking to feel better about yourself, grab a copy of White Privilege today.
In every game, there are winners and losers, and there's no shame in that.
So if your family enjoys the benefits of colonialism, institutional racism, or just plain crime, Eldritch Bacon says it's all okay.
That's right. Greed is the foundation of every society across the world and throughout time.
And that means greed is completely natural, and anything natural is good.
White Privilege, the board game, explains hard truths like this to the losers. I'm going to do that again.
Yep.
White Privilege, the board game, explains hard truths like this to the losers who want to take away everything we have and destroy civilization along the way.
White Privilege, the board game, is $500 at Saks Fifth Avenue or wherever rich white people shop.
Privilege, it's all in the game.
They also do steaks.
Yes, they
Yes.
do. The most expensive kind of steaks.
White steaks.
White steaks. I didn't know there was such a thing. I was watching.
It was a hair band, wasn't it? An '80s hair band.
White steaks. Here I go again.
Yeah, they were opening for Potato Addiction.
Okay, so I was watching a cooking show the other day. Have you ever had a tomahawk steak?
I have heard the word once in my whole
They're
life.
they're pretty. Oh, I think it was right now. Yes, is that when you
No,
heard
once
it?
before. From the same
it's-
uncle who liked to order his eggs blindfolded.
Okay, great. No, it's like this big. It's like this steak stuck to still attached to a giant rib, so it looks like a tomahawk. It's kind of
Oh,
impressive.
that's what
so-
that is. The steak with a giant rib sticking out of it.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any restaurants in Vegas that serve it. I'm sure there are. Listeners, Dirty Dozens, if you know of Vegas restaurants that serve tomahawk steaks, let me know, and then I can tell James or let James know. Either one.
So that I can what? Go not order one? I always get the
Go eat
fillet.
one.
I always get the smallest steak I can.
Oh,
Because-
you do a petite filet?
Yeah, because there's another cultural thing that completely escapes me is like the need to eat more meat than will fit in your face. I like the flavor, and then I'm done, and then I have some
I think-
potatoes, and there's nothing wrong with having some
There's
potatoes.
nothing wrong with
within it.
potatoes, James. There's nothing wrong. Moderation. Everything in moderation, especially moderation.
Well, I've got some
Um,
trivia for you. Are you ready for this week's list of trivia questions?
Sure.
Well, hey, listeners, September 19th is Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Arr.
Since 2002, pirate lovers around the world have celebrated this made-up holiday with ardor and verve. Creators John Bauer and Mark Summers invented Talk Like a Pirate Day on June 6, 1995, choosing the date of Mark's ex-wife's birthday, since June 6 was already the anniversary of D-Day. Talk Like a Pirate Day was later popularized by columnist Dave Barry, becoming the sensation we celebrate today, but how much do we actually know about pirates? Today's 8-question challenge
Oh.
delves shallowly into this important
Ah.
question.
Arr, scurvy.
Question
arr.
1. The earliest documented historical pirates were the Sea Peoples in the 14th century BC. On what seas did these peoples sail?
The Mediterranean seas.
That is correct. The Aegean and Mediterranean seas. In the pre-classical era, ancient Greeks condoned piracy as a profession. It was regarded as an entirely honorable way of
Wow.
making a living. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm sure they got over that, but what are you going to do? I think
Not
if
get pirated?
if you're at sea, you take your chances.
Well, it's kind of like cruise ships. You can't gamble in their casino unless they're 3 miles away from the shore. So have at it. Yes, exactly.
Exactly. So when you try to transport your goods across the water, it's exactly like being outside
On
the
a
realm of
Cruise ship,
of
3
law.
miles, international water. Okay.
Question 2. The modern skull and crossbones is a hybrid of several different pirate flags from the golden age of piracy. What's the common name for this flag?
The Jolly Roger.
Jolly Roger is correct. Use of the term Jolly Roger in reference to pirate flags goes back at least to Charles Johnson's A General History of the Pirates, published
Arr,
in
the
1724. The Pirates.
Arr, arr.
Question 3. The 200-ton frigate Queen Anne's Revenge was among the largest and most famous pirate ships of the Golden Age. Who was the captain of the Queen Anne's Revenge?
It wasn't Anne Bonny, was it?
It was not. It was
uh,
Edward Teach, a.k.a.
Blackbeard.
Blackbeard is correct.
Okay.
Portrayed by Ian McShane, Blackbeard appears in the 4th and second least memorable installment of the Pirates of the Caribbean film series. Question 4. Tom Hanks plays the title character in this 2013 film based on the 2009 hijacking of the Maersk, Alabama by Somali pirates. What's the name of the film?
Oh, it's not Sully. That's an airplane.
Right. He saves us from everyone, doesn't he?
saves us,
Even
it's like
the Hudson River.
he saves us from everything, and we always have to rescue frickin' Matt Damon from everything. God damn it.
Matt Damon was an excellent Somali pirate, by the way. He lost 100 pounds for that role.
I don't remember the name of that movie.
Captain Phillips is the name of the
Thank
movie.
you. Thank you.
According to Wikipedia, this hijacking was the first successful pirate seizure of a ship under the American flag since the early 1800s. Question
Wow.
5.
Okay.
Despite all evidence to the contrary, Caribbean pirates were not all what?
Caribbean pirates were not all white.
They were not all they were not all English.
Okay.
Specifically,
Which
West
is-
Country English with
which is
accents
pretty-
from spots such as Devon, Dorset, or Bristol. Yes, white pirates.
Which is white.
Drawing inspiration from Treasure Island, Disney cast actor Robert Newton to play Long John Silver in 1950 and again as Blackbeard in 1952, inspiring generations of fictional pirates to talk just like him. So September 19th might as well be called Talk Like a Robert Newton Day. Arr.
I like it. Arr. Treasure Island. Arr.
Treasure Island, Jim Harkins,
Treasure.
bring it. And question 6. In August 1906, the British Parliament passed the Copyright Law for Music Act, an early piece of legislation in the fight against what?
Piracy.
Specifically, what kind
Music
of piracy?
piracy.
Specifically, sheet music piracy. At the turn of the
Recorded
20th
piracy.
century, 100 years before Napster, gangs of sheet music pirates were cutting in the profits of the music industry by copying and reselling sheet music.
No sheet.
No sheet is right.
No sheet.
Question 7. You mentioned these characters before. Bonnie and Reed were some of history's most famous what?
Women. The ladies.
Most famous women. I'm going to go with
Pirates.
my answer, which is most famous women pirates. But
Women
true indeed.
pirates.
In
No,
1720.
the ladies had the game as well. They were in there.
They did. In 1720, pirates and Bonnie and Mary Reed hooked up and carried out a spree of raids in the Bahamas. Unlike their co-conspirator Calico Jack Rackham, Jack, all pirates are named Jack.
Named Jack.
Both women escaped the noose by admitting they were quick with child, though Reed died soon after of a fever in jail, and Bonnie's fate remains unknown. Question 8.
I have a side note on that one with the name you just mentioned, Calico Jack.
Uh-huh.
And now, I was asked, why was he named Calico? And many people, when they hear the word calico, they think of a flowery, little tiny flowery fabric that has flowers printed on it. Usually that's calico or calico print.
Sure.
But actually, calico is a fabric, and it is stronger than cotton, but not as rough as burlap. And it was a common fabric used for long-lasting clothing. And
Mhm.
so he had a coat made out of calico, hence the reason he was called that. Not that he was wearing a ditzy print cotton jacket.
Or did you like pictures of kittens?
Yeah, exactly. But I just found that fascinating that calico is a fabric. So there you go. If my Aunt Anne Marie is listening, thank you, Anne Marie, for bestowing
Well,
costume
sailors
knowledge on me.
are called tars as well because they're tarpaulin fabric clothing.
Yes, tarpaulin fabric. Yep.
Question 8.
Thank you.
Would you steal an old lady's purse? No. What if you could steal an exact copy of the old lady's purse without actually taking the purse away from her?
Yes.
The answer is that's what I thought. Software piracy doesn't hurt the old lady unless the old lady is a multi-billion-dollar media mega corporation, in which case she can get another dang purse. This brief tour down the halls of piracy has been brought to you by your pirate talking friends at Here All Week. We like
I've
to think every day is Talk Like a Pirate Day, and you should too.
I've been on the streets of New York with the stands that are up where you can get a beautiful knockoff Louis Vuitton bag. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not going to drop, $2,000 on a handbag, but if I can get 3 for 60, you bet I'm paying. I'm paying top dollar for that. Right
Nobody
there.
needs 3 handbags. What are you gonna sneak some potatoes into work in those things?
Don't even talk to me about my potato addiction. I don't want to talk about it. Okay, I'm not
If
talking
you
about it.
the first step in admitting you have a potato is I don't know.
It's having a potato first.
Just having a
Yeah.
potato to talk about.
You have to have a potato. God, the show took a weird turn. So aside from poker tournaments and not seeing your friends, I need to find out, how are you doing on groceries? Did you just buy enough for like a week? Are you shopping?
No, honestly, I don't know how long I'm going to be down here. The original plan was I'm going to stay until the
The inspection.
well, no, that was the first day I was here. There was a fire
Oh,
inspection, and I had to
okay.
race down to be here for it.
Okay.
I was going to stay until the Ren Fair in the middle of October, which happens down in Henderson, but I may sneak home in the middle because the birthday party that I was going to have has been completely canceled. Nobody could show up. I had one yes, but that was not enough, and so we canceled the suite and canceled the party, which means I'll be all alone down here on my birthday unless I fly
Aw.
back home to celebrate at home. So who knows what I'm doing? Flights are still so cheap. I can do whatever I want.
That's terrific. Well, as far as on your birthday, I can just call you and sing happy birthday over and over again about 60 times a day if you want. I
I
can just
may
keep calling you.
be busy that day. I may have stubbed my toe on the cat box, and I understand that I would have to get a cat and a box before that literally could happen. But I will send you
Right.
photographs to stop you from singing.
I'm a fine singer.
I just don't want to hear "Happy Birthday" on my birthday. It reminds me that I'm turning 53, Kelly.
You know what? No, I'm not. I will be 53 in October, so I'm right behind you.
Right.
Right behind
Well,
you. We are
I don't.
both of the same zodiac
We
signs.
we are indeed, and we don't need to be reminded of that every damn year.
Oh, you know what?
Because when you're our age, the years fly by like days.
Oh, seriously. It's like I wake up and suddenly, oh my God, I'm this old? Jeez. Why does this hurt now? Because that's just life, guys. That's just life. This week coming up is just work, and we're supposed to bust out of this rain here, so the sunshine will come. Because right now I'm in the Seattle weather map. I like to call this false fall, so that we'll get another small heat burst. Basically in about 2 or 3 weeks, and then we really jump into right around Halloween.
I
is
believe
when
it's
the
referred to as Indigenous American Summer.
Yes, something like that. So we get another burst of heat, and then right around Halloween it starts raining and doesn't stop raining until March. So
If you're lucky.
yeah, no, this week is calm and quiet and just filled with work and house chores and just general life, just staying low and being kind to myself and kind to my
Well,
family. and
honestly,
friends.
the 6 months of rain is the real reason that I have a pied a terre down in Las Vegas. It's lovely to come down here and get some sunshine during the winter months.
Oh yes, yes. There are times I have driven over the pass here in Washington to go to the sunshine on the eastern side of the state. It's a good drive to go to, a good day to go to Wenatchee. Let's just go to Wenatchee.
It is a good day to drive.
It is a good day to drive. Anyway, be careful with your potatoes, folks. Go easy. As always, be kind. Be kind to yourself, your neighbors, your friends, your family, your community, because we're still going through it. And thank you so much for joining us today. We always appreciate you taking the time. My name is Kelly Wright.
And I'm James Ernest, and we're here all week.